Hi, everybody. This is Kathy L. Murphy, the Pulpwood Queen, reporting from my little cabin in the woods called Murphy's Law. And I am talking here with my executive director of our International Pulpwood Queens and Timber Guys Book Club Reading Nation, Mandy Haynes. And Mandy Haynes lives on an island off the coast of Florida. Fernandina.
You're getting closer every time.
Fernandina Beach. Fernandina Beach. That's hard to say.
Fernandina.
Yeah, well, you've got it down. But anyway, she lives on this island. I'm in the woods, and here we are today, this Monday morning after Easter, and we've got some exciting news, you all. We are going to go through very quickly our April book club selections because we spend a lot of time reading and going through all the books that are sent to us to select the books for you. So we want to showcase them in this way. Our first book, well, before I even begin that, I want to tell everybody that this is our 21st year reading books all together with over 800 book club chapters from all over the country, around the world. We're actually in 20 foreign countries now. So we're truly global, diverse, and we started our 21st year with a new mission. We wanted people to know, even though we've always been picking global and diverse books, we've added international to our names because we truly are an international book club. And besides the 12 books of a month that we're reading 12 international books of the month too. So we have 24 books we're reading each year, plus all our wonderful bonus books. And we'll talk more about those later. But first up for April, this isn't any April Fools because today's the 5th. The first book of the month is The Flying Cutterbucks by Kathleen M. Rogers. And what we're going to do now, Andy, before I begin talking about it, let's bring up on the screen all of our book club selections. Fantastic. We're here. I just saw your little dog come in the side door, but here are all of our books. But you can see The Flying Cutterbucks by Kathleen is featured with The Plane in the Clouds. This is an incredible story written by a journalist who turned author, who's written always books because her husband is in the military. They have lived, she lives in Clovis, New Mexico. The stories always have an underlying story of the military. And the wonderful thing about this book is something happens. It's a very timely book, and it brings forward memories of something that is very important and everybody's scared to talk about. And she handles it in a very wonderful and book club discussion way. So I'm going to let Mandy read to you a little bit about the book.
So I'm going to read the description for The Flying Cutterbucks, which is one of my favorites. So, decades ago, Trudy, Georgia, and Aunt Star formed a code of silence to protect each other from an abusive man who terrorized their family. One act of solidarity long ago lives with them still. With the election of a president who brags about groping women without their consent, old wounds and deep secrets come alive again, forcing hard truths to be told and even harder truths to be left to the dead. On the outskirts of Pardon, New Mexico, Trudy returns to her mother, Jewel, to navigate an old house filled with haunting mementos of her father who went missing in action over North Vietnam. As she helps her mother sift through the memories and finally lay her father to rest, Trudy will do her own soul searching to say goodbye to the dead and find her way along with the other women in her family and through the next election.
It's a wonderful book for book club discussion. This is not something that you need to be worried about, whether it's picking sides or anything. It's really about secrets, about people that are afraid or been told never to tell. And I think it's a very timely book, especially with everything that's happened the past few years. It's our number one pick, and she's on Breathless Books and Bubbles all this week and will be on tomorrow night's Pulpwood Queen online International Book Club with our Timber Guys. So if you need to join us, if you'll email me at thepulpwoodqueen@gmail.com, we'll send you the link, but you have to be a member. So that's our lead book. Now we go on to our international book. So many of the books we read, a lot of people think that when I started the Pulpwood Queens that we were only reading books set in the South because I started the book club here in East Texas. But it's not true. We've been picking books from all over the world. And so we want to really let people know that, because with our international books, that these books are set outside the country. And this book that we have next is our international book. It's The Takeaway Men by Meryl Ain. It's a novel. It's about two little twin girls. It's all about in the cloud of the after the Holocaust and what happens when people are put into internment camps. It's mostly set, out of the country, but it's things that we need to know, because how can we learn from history if we don't know it? And the wonderful thing about this novel is it's put in a very entertaining and also enlightening way of helping understand a time that we may not have been a part of. So be sure and read Meryl Ain's books. And now, Mandy, I'll let you go on and give that description.
So the takeaway men. With the cloud of the Holocaust still looming over them, twin sisters Branka and Johanna Lubinsky and their parents arrive in the U.S. from a displaced persons camp. In the years after World War II, they experienced the difficulties of adjusting to American culture, as well as the burgeoning fear of the Cold War. Years later, the discovery of a former Nazi hiding in their community brings the Holocaust out of the shadows. As the girls get older, this just gives me chill bumps. As the girls get older, they start to wonder about their parents' past, and they begin to demand answers. But it soon becomes clear that those memories will be more difficult and painful to uncover than they could have anticipated. Poignant and haunting, The Takeaway Men explores the impact of immigration, identity, prejudice, secrets, and lies on parents and children in mid-20th century America.
A lot of stories about secrets, but these are the perfect ones to discuss, because I've always felt like the truth will set you free. So here we go. Next up is one of my favorite authors, has been with the Pulpwood Queens and Timber Guys for decades. Her name is Catherine Casey. She is a Houston, Texas author. She's a true crime writer. She also writes the Sarah Armstrong Texas Rangers books, but she's got a new series out. And the first one is The Fallen Girls. These are the Detective Clara Jeffries book one, and Her Final Prayer, Detective Claire Jeffries book two. I believe a third one will be coming up, and I'll let everybody know about that. But if you have not read Catherine Casey's books, I highly recommend them. She's a Pulpwood Queen favorite. When you meet her, you'd swear she's like your favorite mama. But she has been inside prisons talking to men on death row. She gets interviewed for all kinds of murder cases and follows a lot of them in Texas. Her and Ann Rule were big friends. So read the Catherine Casey's books. And now I'm going to turn it over to Mandy.
So book one, Detective Clara Jeffries has spent years running from her childhood in Alber, Utah. But when she hears that her baby sister, Delilah, has disappeared, she knows that the peaceful community will be shattered, her family vulnerable, and that she must face up to her past and go home. Clara returns to find that her mother, or Death, has isolated her family by moving to the edge of town in the shadow of the mountains. Ardith refuses to talk to the police and won't let Clara through the front door, believing she and her sister wives can protect their own. But Clara knows better than anyone that her mother isn't always capable of protecting her children. Whew. When Clara finds out the two more girls have disappeared, all last seen around the cornfields near her family's home, she realizes it's not just Delilah who's in danger. And then she gets a call that a body has been found. Clara will have to dig deep into the town's secrets if she's going to find Delilah. That will mean confronting the reason she left. And as she gets closer to Delilah, she might be putting her more at risk.
Won't be able to put these books down. They're real page turners. Love Catherine Casey. Next up, we have another author who has been with us for the past 4 or 5 years. Her name is Michelle Cox, and she has a series, the Henrietta and Inspector Howard novel. It's called A Child Lost. This woman is the best writer, and she also is wonderful to talk to when we feature on Breathless Bubbles and Books. She's so engaging, but it's a story that is haunting. You will not be able to put it down. You will love the author, and I love the time frame that it's set, because it's back when, I don't know if you ever used to watch the Thin Men kind of mystery series, and they had the little dog Topper. But she is always got this wonderful, nostalgic time period that is just magical when you read her book. So check out the book, A Child Lost. And she has now, I'm trying to think, 4 or maybe even 5, but she is a great author. Yeah, this is book 5. So, and I even got an autographed copy. So I'll let Mandy tell you about this book.
So, a spiritualist, an insane asylum, and a lost little girl. When Clive, anxious to distract a depressed Henrietta, begs Sergeant Frank Davis for a case, he's assigned to investigate a seemingly boring affair. A spiritualist woman operating in an abandoned schoolhouse on the edge of town who is suspected of robbing people of their valuables. What begins as an open and shut case becomes more complicated. However, when Henrietta, much to Clive's dismay, begins to believe the spiritualist's strange ramblings. Meanwhile, Elsie begs Clive and Henrietta to help her and the object of her budding love, Gunther, locate the whereabouts of one Liesel Klinkhammer, the German woman Gunther has traveled to America to find, and the mother of the little girl Anna, whom he has brought along with them. The search leads them to Dunning Asylum, where they discover some terrible truths about Liesel. When the child Anna is herself mistakenly admitted to the asylum after an epileptic fit, Clive and Henrietta return to Dunning to retrieve her. This time, however, Henrietta begins to suspect that something darker may be happening. When Clive doesn't believe her, she decides to take matters into her own hands, with horrifying results.
I'm telling you, this will keep you wide awake this spring reading all these books. Now I'm going a little bit differently, because I'm featuring a book that is a bonus book. It's by Robert Iger, and it's The Ride of a Lifetime. Lessons learned from 15 years as CEO of the Walt Disney Company. Well, I ordered this book because I wanted to know more about, I've read lots of books about Walt Disney, but I didn't know anything of kind of what was happening now. And the reason why is my daughter, who was in college, University of Texas A&M, got a year internship at Walt Disney World doing, putting together all the international programs for people as they came in, and she worked out there. And so I read the story, and what I want to tell you about this book is I love this guy. He started out with the very first thing with the story people most remember about the little boy who was attacked by the alligator at one of the resorts on, it's one of those freak accidents that happen, but he addressed it in such a way. I think you need to know the backstory of what really, it's not just a corporation that's running, it's really about creating memories for families to last a lifetime. So if you have not read A Ride of a Lifetime by Robert Iger, I'll let you go ahead and tell a little bit more about it, Mandy.
So in The Ride of a Lifetime, Robert Iger shares the lessons he learned while running Disney and leading its 220,000 plus employees, and he explores the principles that are necessary for true leadership, including optimism. Even in the face of difficulty, an optimistic leader will find the path toward the best possible outcome and focus on that rather than give in to pessimism and blaming. That's a good one. Courage. Leaders have to be willing to take risks and place big bets. Fear of failure destroys creativity. That's another great lesson. Decisiveness. All decisions, no matter how difficult, can be on a timely basis. Indecisiveness is both wasteful and destructive to morale. Fairness. Treat people decently with empathy and be accessible to them. This book is about the relentless curiosity that's driven Iger for 45 years, since the day he started as the lowliest studio grunt at ABC. It's also about the thoughtfulness and respect and a decency over dollars approach that has become the bedrock of every project and partnership Iger pursues. From a deep friendship with Steve Jobs in his final years to an abiding love of the Star Wars mythology.
I'm telling you, you're going to be so inspired. And I love everything that was said in this book. It's a one for anybody that's in business. They should read it. Next up is Ruthie Landis. She has a very interesting theatrical background. Her book is Acting Lessons for Living Acting and an Enneagram Masterclass Guided Journal. This is wonderful, you all, because every day she's been posting an inspirational message on my International Pulpwood Queens and Timber Guys book club page, and they're so inspiring to me and make me want to be a better person. What's wonderful about her book is it's a journal. So you'll read all about it and then you journal. And she does these classes. She's from Chicago. She does all these classes. I'd love to get her to do one at Girlfriend Weekend. She's such an inspirational person. And if you have not read her book, you need to get it today. Okay.
So, drawing from the many teachings explored in Acting Lessons for Living, author Ruthie Landis has created a companion book for guided activities linked with journal prompts. In this way, you can engage with creative tools for living your life with more intention and presence while opening to pure potential. You can also start an easy, fulfilling journaling ritual that leads you toward kinder ways. I just love this. Leads you toward kinder ways to become more loving and accepting of yourself and others. And you can use your written observations to put your discoveries directly into daily active practice. This guided journal can be your good friend and caring accountability partner as you proceed on your very own awareness-driven hero's journey. And she's something else, isn't she, Kathy?
She really
so
is.
Positive and
she is so inspirational to me, and she makes me want to be a better person. And in this, with all the things that have happened the past couple of years, and all the meanness and things that are out there, it is wonderful to know that kindness, love, empathy rules, and these are some tools of how we can be better people. Reading changes people's lives, and this is definitely one that will change yours. So I really love this list. Last on our reading list for this month of April is another Pulpwood Queen Timber Guy book club favorite, R.J. Lee. This is Cold Reading Murder, and it's a bridge to death mystery. Well, Robert, R.J. Lee, who came to us years ago for his book, Waltzing at the Piggly Wiggly, has done several series. This one all centers around bridge. And I've always been fascinated with that because my mother used to have bridge club. And I always thought when you grew up, everybody would learn how to play bridge. Unfortunately, that all went away. But you can learn all about it. He is from Natchez, Mississippi. It's a wonderful tale, and it involves a tarot reader, and it's a series too. So if you like it, there's going to be a lot more. So that wraps up our reading list for April. We are very ambitious when it comes to reading, but most of the people in my book club are teachers, librarians, retired teachers, librarians. They're book people. Authors are joining in droves. Publishers are signing up. We are a book club for readers. So we have the Reading Nation April picks.
I want to read a description for RJ. I don't want to leave him out.
Do that.
So in the third Bridge to Death mystery, RJ Lee, bridge expert and small town investigative reporter Wendy Winchester must put her amateur sleuthing skills to the test while investigating the death of a flamboyant psychic. So bridge expert and investigative reporter Wendy Winchester knows a thing or two about navigating life along the Mississippi River, but murder isn't something she foresees. Who could have predicted it? The daughter of police chief Bax Winchester, married to a cop, Detective Ross Grierson. It's a beautiful wedding and the newlyweds are in bliss, even if they do have to postpone their Hawaiian honeymoon for now. In the meantime, Wendy is teaching a group of newbies the game of bridge so they can join the Rosalie Country Club Bridge Bunch. One of the newcomers, flamboyant psychic Oriella Spangler, invites the group to meet at her new home. The historic Overview Mansion sits atop the high bluff overlooking the Mississippi River, and the local lore is that it's possibly haunted, definitely cursed by the original builder who fell down the stairs to his death. Unfortunately, the house is about to claim another life. Following a night of bridge practice and cold readings by their clairvoyant host, Ariella is found dead in her home by Wendy, a suicide note and cocaine residue by her corpse. But Wendy, an investigative reporter for the Rosalie Citizen, doesn't buy it. The scene seems phonier than Ariella's act, and now Wendy needs to call the bluff of a cold-blooded killer playing a psychic bid. It's just a fun escape.
A love of a read. And it's no wonder that so many of our books that and now we are selecting each year are going on to movie option. I'm telling you, every single one of these would be an interesting and entertaining story. And there's nothing better than reading the book before you watch a movie to make those comparisons. And that's exactly why we have our book and film club. But this week, we want to talk about quickly our lineup. This week on Breathless Bubbles and Books, we have Kathleen M. Rogers, Flying Cutterbuck. It's free. It's a Facebook group. Go on there, join, and you can have conversation with this author. And you'll want to do that, and then you'll definitely want to read her book. Tomorrow night, what do we have going on?
It's an online book club, and it's Kathleen is the feature author for that. You don't want to miss it.
And we are going to have a lot of authors there because Kathleen is actually a favorite amongst our authors too. So besides the book club members, so if you want to meet a bunch of authors, please come 7:00. Email me at thepulpwoodqueen@gmail.com. And we're soon going to have this up, and we'll talk about that in just a minute, as a calendar event, so you'll know what's going on all the time. But you can always email me at thepulpwoodqueen@gmail.com or Mandy at
mandy.pulpwoodqueen.com.
Right.
At gmail.com.
And we share everything with each other. So don't think if you're emailing me or her, the other one isn't going to hear about it, because we share everything every day.
Everything by Kathy.
And next up, we have on Saturday, we have our writing club. We started a new writing club where our authors are mentoring to new authors and seasoned authors and everybody in between. And that will happen at 10:00 a.m.
Central Standard Time. That's right.
Standard Time. And our featured author is going to be
Johnny Bernard.
Yeah, Johnny. And she is going to be doing a writer's workshop that she led at the Pat Conroy Literary Center. If you haven't read her latest book, Sisters of the Undertow, it's one of our picks. And she just made an announcement I put on my Facebook page today of how she's teaching writing. So, this is a wonderful opportunity, but you have to be a Pulpwood Queen to sign aboard for these things. When you send me your email, I check membership. If you're not up to date on your membership or haven't purchased a membership, you have to do that. But honestly, for everything that you get for being a member, you're getting access to all these events. You'll also get a wonderful copy. We had a few left over from Girlfriend Weekend, and right now, if you sign aboard, stateside only, you'll get a copy of Think Like a Monk by Jay Shetty with your membership. So please sign up today.
And you also want to join now because Kathy, the Pulpwood Queens, are having a special for the Girlfriend Weekend.
Tell them all about it, Mandy. What are they going to get?
If you're a member, you will get a really good deal for the 2022 virtual Girlfriends Weekend. It's $99.
$99 to hear over 100 authors, keynote speakers, bloggers. But you have to do two things. You have to join the Pulpwood Queens and Timber Guys Book Club. And to do that, just go to our website, thepulpwoodqueens.com. And you have to subscribe to my Kathy L. Murphy YouTube channel. And basically, that's what you're watching now. Just hit that subscribe button and that little bell icon, ding, you click that and they'll send you all notifications of everything that we post. So you're going to want to do that. And that's for everybody pays to come to Girlfriend Weekend this year, even the authors. So
and you're going to want to send Kathy an email once you do those two things, because it's not on the website. There's no link to it. You have to email her. She will send you the link. for that special price.
That's so we can check, and we're only going to have it up for the month of April. So now is the time. I got 3 messages today where people are signing up. So do that and you'll get to go to a full week. The wonderful thing about our week is you go, well, I don't think I can take a full week to watch all these authors, because you get to see every single one of them. But if you can't, if you miss anything, all of these are downloaded, recorded and downloaded, put on my Kathy L. Murphy channel. But only if you're a member are you going to have access to watch them. So all the more reason to watch them. And we have also made the announcement that we've got another program that's going to be going up on our Kathy L. Murphy channel fairly soon. We're starting back my own talk show, and I'm going to be the host with Mandy Haynes is going to be my Ed McMahon, to me is my Johnny Carson, and we're going to be interviewing and having conversations of the stories behind the stories with all these authors. So it's beyond the book. It's going to be fun. It's going to be entertaining. We're going to have all kinds of surprises, and you definitely want to be subscribed to the channel and be a member so you can see that. And do we have one other big announcement coming up? Are you ready to reveal it, or should we wait?
Let's wait a little bit. Let's wait a little bit on
We've
it.
got something else really big coming up that Mandy has been working on. I'm so excited about it. I could not hardly stand it because she has skills that the Pulpwood Queen does not have. So join us today and you will get your membership package within 6 weeks. We have international membership. We have stateside membership. We have publisher membership. And we have author membership. So if you are an author, a publicist, an author can get their book featured in our international newsletter that goes around the world. And that's a really good deal. And if you're a publicist, you can have up to 5 of your authors or your publisher books featured throughout the year, and they have membership. So check it out on thepulpwoodqueens.com. We have a lot going on, and we try to make it very, very fun, because I'm at the age, everybody, that if it's not fun, I don't want to do it anymore. And the last thing we do for the week, every week, is we do the book and film club. And we hope you'll join to be a part of that, because you have to email me to get the link to our pre-show. And Robert Waltney, who's got a new book coming out, The Cicada Tree, is my co-host from Atlanta, Georgia. And he is as big a film buff as I am. And if you have not watched the show we did last Saturday night, we pre-recorded it because it was his birthday weekend. And so he had dinner plans with friends. But we pre-recorded our pre-show talking about the Christopher Guest film, Waiting for Guffman. And I laughed so hard because he can remember quotes. He's a genius. He can remember lines. I think he needs to go into acting, but he can remember quotes and lines. And he goes, remember this line? The whole time I was just laughing into my hands because he had me in stitches. And then this Saturday night, we're doing another Christopher Guest film. We're doing Best in Show. So we're asking everybody to come on with your pampered pooch or pet, because we are going to be talking about this mockumentary dog show. And in each one of Christopher Guest's films, he has these improv comedians play the role, like Eugene Levy, Catherine O'Hara, Fred Thompson, just wonderful, wonderful actors. And they play such diverse and different roles in each. I think there's 5 of these.
It's so fun to watch, and then you see the characters pop up that are playing a different type of character than before, and you're just, that alone is enough to make you watch them over and over.
Well, you have to watch it because I don't take myself very seriously. And so I really wanted to be the Parker Posey role, the Dairy Queen worker, but I couldn't find my old uniform of, I think I finally took it to Goodwill. So instead I was the travel agent. Catherine O'Hara, her and Fred Thompson play a married couple that are travel agents. And I had the bang. Do you remember those 90 bangs that just went? I'm telling you, you have to watch it. And when I came on, Robert goes, "Oh my God, I love the bangs." I mean, and we just had the best time talking about that movie. And I know we're going to have fun with Best in Show. And we'll let all of you show off your little pets if you bring them on board. So please join us again. Email me at thepulpwoodqueen@gmail.com. And
I want to say one more thing for
Uh-huh.
anybody that hasn't been to the online Tuesday book club thing yet. Just to let you know, it's interactive. Like you are there, you can ask questions, you get to talk to the author, which is kind of fun because you don't get to do that at all of them, but you get to do it on this one. So
we like to have the conversations, and we like to talk about all kinds of different things, and we've learned so much about each other, and I've learned so much about authors that I never know. I mean, I talk to Mandy every day, but when she was doing ours the other night, I found out things about Mandy I didn't even know. So we've lived whole lives, and you can't tell all of it, but eventually it's all coming out. And we laugh a lot, everybody. So I hope everybody will join us. The men love the book club. They get the biggest kick. They go, "Can guys join?" Absolutely. We welcome all of you, whether you're an author or a book club member or out of the country. We hope, and that's the wonderful thing about doing an online and virtual. You might have to get up in the middle of the night where you live to watch with us, but if you can't, you can always go to the Kathy L. Murphy channel and watch it later. You can have watch parties with your friends, but you do need to join because some of these things are going to be for members only. And what else, Mandy? What else could we possibly say?
I don't know. I think you covered it all.
Well, we have covered a lot today, and I thank you so much for joining us. Please comment in the box. We'd love to hear what you have to say about what we're doing, and we love suggestions too. It doesn't mean we can do all of them, but we listen to every single one. We have, for authors who are wondering, how do I get to be a part of this? All of it is up on our submission guidelines on our book club selection page on our website. Everything is on that site. And if not, you can email Mandy or email me. So,
and it's a good safe spot for authors, because it's a good, group of people that, you don't worry, it doesn't matter if it's your first novel, if you haven't published yet or not. It's a great place to be because everybody is so helpful and they want to help, and encourage and support each other. So if you're an author and you're thinking about it, quit thinking about it and just do it.
I think one of my favorite stories is, I'm trying to remember which author came up to her, but Leela Meacham heard her talking about something about how she was nervous and everything. And Leela reached out to her, and she actually mentored to her the entire time she was writing her next book. And Pat Conroy has done the same thing with Karen Harrington. They met at Girlfriend Weekend. He was impressed with her story, called her out of the blue and said, can I do a blurb? Can I do something to help? You meet it's a wonderful place to network. So if you're an author, if you're thinking about becoming a writer, and even if you're not, everybody should write their story because nobody can write your story better than you. And if you don't, it's a library lost to your family and friends. So we're getting back to work. We're working 24/7 because we love this more than life itself. So y'all have a wonderful week, and let's get busy reading, right?
Right. Don't forget to check out Kathy's post on Breathless Bubbles and Books.
That's right. It's all about the story, everybody, and we would love to have you join us. So bye, Mandy, for now.
Bye, Kat.
We'll sign off, and we'll see you next time, everybody. All right, let's hit the end button.